Have you ever noticed how women are taught how to love, how to be beautiful, how to be a wife, how to be supportive, how to care for others, but very few are taught how to build? Not just to build a business, not just to build wealth, but build a life. Today I want to talk about finances. Not because money is everything, but because money touches almost everything. Money influences where we live, what opportunities we can access, whether we stay or we leave certain situations, how much stress we carry, and how much freedom we have to follow our purpose. And I'm not surprised, but today I'm going to share with you that one of the strongest examples of a financially wise woman comes from the Bible, the Proverbs 31 woman. Disclaimer, this episode is not about becoming rich. It's not an episode about chasing luxury, let alone measuring your worth by your income. This is about stewardship, and it's about becoming a woman who knows how to manage what has been placed in her hands. Before we start this episode, I am here with the sponsor of this video, My Sweet Gratitude Body Cream. This is a luxury product created with the best quality of organic ingredients that you should not be worried to access if you are financially wise. Knowing how to control, how to use your money can give you access to things that are good for you. You can choose quality over prices. You can be the person that buys her products at the supermarket full of chemicals, or you can be the one that has access to get the best quality for herself, for her health, not having to worry about the price. In order for you to give yourself what you know you deserve, finances are a very important topic that we must talk today. If you want to get yours, click on the link on the description down below. Thank you, My Sweet Gratitude, for being the sponsor of this entire whole season. Okay, since I am finding myself getting more and more introduced in the Christian world, I came to know that many Christian women have this intention to have the woman of Proverbs 31 as a role model, as a very good example to copy and become like that woman. All the women in the Bible are very good role models. They have something that we need to learn from. But I see the woman of Proverbs 31 as being like the major example that everybody wants to personify. And I think that is something that is very, very good, and it works very well for this topic of this episode, because the woman of Proverbs 31, she wasn't passive. She was literally a builder. She wasn't waiting for life to happen. She was creating, she was producing, she was planning, and she was thinking long term. Sometimes we know that what is more taught for women is how to be a good wife, how to be a mother, how to care, how to behave next to the husband, etc. But God led the woman of Proverbs 31 to something way bigger. She was a businesswoman. If we talk about more our modern society, we can think about women 50 years ago not having access to her own bank account. So that it is absolutely unfair. A woman 50 years ago, which is nothing, couldn't handle her own money. She needed to have an account with maybe the husband or the father, and that was it. So thanks to a lot of feminism movement, today we can have our own money. So that means that a lot of things have changed in the middle, in between. A lot of wrong things have happened in society that has changed the way God created them in the first place. Because if we go back to the Bible moments, the woman of Proverbs 31, she has total access to her money. She was able to manage it, to use it the way she was pleased to. The woman of Proverbs 31 wasn't just learning passively how to be a wife, how to cook, how to take care of the house, and how to do women activities. God lets the woman of Proverbs 31 to buy her own land, to plant vineyards. She was very recognized in the town for trading goods. She was investing her money. She was able to provide for her household. She was the first one to wake up before the sun would rise to start working. She was preparing for the future. So that is something that we must celebrate as well, and that is something that we should copy as women in general. And it's not that I'm the first one talking about this topic. I'm already in a generation where women are generating and creating wealth. There are incredibly successful women out there generating millions and millions and millions. And I'm glad about it. But we still need to talk about that because it still needs to get better. It's still the 1%. But this is a very good thing because now women are not choosing men from a point of view that they can take care of us. We are choosing character. We are choosing personality. We are choosing from love, from other points of view. Women are now independently financially. So we don't depend on men anymore. And it's not from a point of view that we don't need men. We do need men. We have to allow men to provide for us, to take care of us. But where I want to get is that money is not just money. Money represents a lot of things. Safety, freedom, self-worth, fear, power, survival. And all of us, we have our own definition and our own emotions connected to it. When you hear the word money, what emotion comes up first? When you hear the word money, you stress, you fear, feel guilt, feel excitement, you feel shame. Many women grow up hearing words like money is dirty, rich people are selfish, women shouldn't care about finances, someone else will take care of it, money is the root of all evil. And these beliefs can literally keep a woman dependent and powerless. I see a lot of people that still demonize money in general, and even a lot of Christians. God never said the money is evil. Money said the love for money is. Which means when you put money as the idol, when you put money before God, money is a tool to serve God. The Bible has a lot of financial teachings. God really teaches us how to carefully handle money, how to use it wisely, how to use it to serve Him. God Himself provides us with money. What is a sin is to love money more than you can love God. But money is not evil. We have a lot of beliefs connected to it that keeps us in misery. But that is very important to know because not knowing has a cost. As I mentioned before, I am part of a generation where women, we have learned to be financially independent. Me, myself, I work at a very young age and I've had my own money since a very young age, but of course, I've been learning how to handle it properly with the experience of the years. Today, I feel I am in a position where the way I use my money, it's very wise. But of course, I'm still learning. I don't worry about money the way I used to worry before. I still buy unnecessary things sometimes that I shouldn't. I don't have any debts and I can plan for the future with more clarity. But even though we are in this generation where women are able to control and to handle her own money, we still have stories of other women that they don't. Women that stays in jobs that they hate, in cities or places they don't love, in relationships that drains them, and not because they want to, but because they feel they have no option. And often the money is not the issue itself, it's the lack of financial knowledge. Financial literacy is not about becoming wealthy, but it's about having choices. When you choose financial freedom, it's not to be able to afford the Chanel bag, but it's about having the option if you wanted to. Choosing financial freedom doesn't mean that you have the desire to live a lavish life, but is having the option that if you wanted to, you can. Financial freedom is to be able to afford things for others, to give your parents that took care of you a better life because you have the option, to take your family for that trip, to fly your parents for the first time, to be able to pay the best healthcare for your children and for yourself. Having choices is what creates the freedom. And freedom also allows us to live more honestly. My personal journey with money has been, I could definitely say it has always been increasing in favor, I would say. But not because I was just lucky, not because I surrounded myself with the richest society, or because I dedicated my life to date wealthy men, or because I got obsessed with becoming rich. Well, I kind of was. But my desire was actually to learn financially. What I had to do first was to erase all these negative beliefs that I had around money in general. The beliefs where I grew up, the beliefs that my family put in me and made me believe. I had to learn the mistakes that I've seen around money in my surroundings and the things that I was doing wrong with money. I don't come from a wealthy family. I would call them more middle class, and I have noticed that sometimes my family members, they see themselves in a lower position than they actually are, and that is something that I try to open their eyes to multiple times. We have always had way more than many others. And I have learned a lot, and I'm always trying to teach my family to see things with an eye of gratitude and with an eye of abundance for what we already have. Today is cold outside, and I'm here in my small apartment, feeling very warm and cozy because I have a heater. I cannot consider myself poor. My mom is preparing a delicious meal right now. My sister is coming to have lunch with us. My baby is playing right now. I can hear his voice. I have food. I'm warm in my cozy home when it's cold outside. I have a hot shower. I have food in the fridge. I have a family that loves me. We love each other. I cannot consider myself poor. I know I am not. Poverty or richness is beyond money itself. And having those beliefs and having those understandings is what makes you put money in the place that it should be. That doesn't mean that my journey with money hasn't been like ups and downs multiple times, because God also tests you and puts challenges in your life to see how you manage things. I can tell you 1,000 stories of how I jumped into the unknown, into adventures, into travel with not having my wallet exactly full, with not having extra, with not having emergency funds just in case. Many moments in my life I found myself not knowing how things would work out. And I had to trust myself. And most of all, I had to trust that I was provided for. And I was indeed. But I had to become resourceful. I can tell you something about us Argentinians that I have seen traveling the world, getting to know other cultures, other countries. You know, we have our own personality because of the country we come from. Our culture gives us personality. Our culture, our country gives us character. You can always tell the personality, the character of someone depending from where they come from. In Argentina, since I was born and even before, we live in a constant economical crisis. I have lived my entire life with inflation. Ever since I left Argentina to live abroad, I would leave the country and prices would be something, and when I would return for a visit, prices would be totally different. Prices today are very different than the last time I was living here when Maisha was born. And I know prices tomorrow will be different. All of that adversity, I can tell you, that has created a character in us, Argentinians, that you can see when you find Argentinians all over the world, and how we actually live here, how we actually build here, how is our character. I can tell you 100% that an Argentinian abroad, living in any country, wherever they can find them, probably they will be building a business. Most of them are entrepreneurs, taking risks out of nowhere, not knowing about tomorrow, because we know tomorrow prices will go up or they will go never low. They never go low. But we got so used to, literally, it's been already maybe like 3 years since I left Mexico, and I lived in Mexico for 4 years, and it was like incredible to live in a place where prices will still maintain. Just they will go maybe just a little bit higher, maybe $1 or $2, nothing more. But they will be stable. The first time I lived in America for over 5 months, that was like my first time living in a place with economical stability. The prices wouldn't go high just out of nowhere. And that was incredible, strange for me. But at the same time, this economical stability that we live in Argentina, that we perceive, as I'm telling you, I am 31 years old, and since I was born, I live in a crisis, economical crisis, in a country that has inflation as a normal thing. We are used to it right now. People keep complaining. People keep complaining about money and about the economical situation of Argentina every single day, but we are used to it. Some people complain just to put themselves as victim, and some others are building themselves in that incredible stability. So that has created a character in us. And I can see that in me when I'm abroad, and I can see that in others, compatriots as well. And I can see it also in people here, how a lot of Argentinians have actually created advantage of that, have seen that as a resourceful way to create wealth. Argentina has a lot of richness, not just in the country itself, for how many resources we have, but also in the people. The rich Argentinian just hides, but they exist. There is a part of the community that is not complaining about the situation. They are just taking advantage of it. They are just being smart. They are being financially wise. I have learned to invest in myself as well. Sometimes I even see in very little things that, and of course I see it here in Argentina as well, and I must say it, there is a lot of beliefs around money itself, and in a big part of the society as well. That looks like sometimes spending money, it's painful. I have seen that along the years, and I have seen the way I behave in that, and I have totally changed it. Every time I am spending money, I don't even use the word spend in my vocabulary. I know I'm investing. Because spending money is just letting it go. Investing is using it in a way that it will return. Something I can tell you right now, girl, you need to know your numbers. Many women know everybody's needs except their own financial reality. Girl, you don't need to know only your income. You need to know your expenses. Even when you go get your nails done, you write that down. You need to know what comes in and what comes out every single month. You need to know your savings, and you need to know your goals. You need to build something, not necessarily a company, but you need to build a skill, learn something that can be fruitful for you, build a project, build a community, build a service, build a creative career. You have to learn continuously. Learn something. That's what makes us rich. Knowledge here. This is what gives us the money. Our brain gives us money. Not the way we look. Yeah, there is that thing of beauty privilege. The way they see you, the way they treat you. But your brain, your intelligence, your knowledge is what is worth millions. The woman in Proverbs 31 wasn't lucky, she was wise. And wisdom can be learned. Think in the long term, not next week. Builders think about 5 years from now. Ask yourself, what would the future version of myself would thank me for? All of that will literally give you a different kind of wealth. Wealth is more than money. True wealth actually includes peace, health, meaningful relationship, purpose, time, freedom. Let's remember, time is money. And I see that time is money always at the most literally example, like traveling. I can choose to travel from my city to the capital in only 45 minutes if I take a plane. Or I can go from my city to the capital in 5 hours if I take a bus. Time is money, because the time that I would save with just 45 minutes costs me a little more by flying. Taking the bus is cheaper. but it costs more time of my life. And that is extremely valuable for me. And it should be for you. So what you want is the ability to choose, the power to choose between taking a 45 minutes flight, a little bit more expensive, or spending 5 hours of your time to go a little cheaper. And those decisions that you make is what actually gives you that wealth sensation. A woman can have money and still be poor. Listen, we all love a Kelly Hermes bag of 30,000 US dollars, if you can afford it. But that doesn't sound rich for me. Give me 30,000 US dollars right now, and a Kelly bag would be the last thing that I would buy. You know, a woman can have less money and feel deeply abundant. That's why I was mentioning today to see our life the way it is today, with an eye of abundance, of gratitude for the things that we do have. If you have a roof, if you have health, if you have food in your table, you have a lot. The goal is not wealth alone. The goal is alignment. Today that I am a mother, I have this need of being even more intentional. I ask myself, what example am I setting? What am I going to teach to my kids? What beliefs about money I'm passing on? Because I'm very conscious of the beliefs that I've been passed on to me. Many of them that I have to erase from my consciousness. And I had to relearn a lot. But today I have the opportunity to teach different. Will I teach my kids fear? Or I will teach them possibilities? Will I teach them from scarcity or stewardship? When I mentioned the woman of Proverbs 31, I am talking about a very different era. So I want to bring someone from this modern world or our times, our generations that I admire very much. I want to bring to the conversation Georgina Rodriguez. She is the soon-to-be wife of Cristiano Ronaldo, which is one of the richest football players in the world. Georgina Rodriguez is one of the best examples because we can say, okay, she is literally with one of the wealthiest men in the world. If she wanted, she can do nothing. She can just sit and rest for the rest of her life. She doesn't have to worry about anything. She could just enjoy life, enjoy traveling, enjoy the luxury, enjoy the houses, whatever she wants. She can. She have access to all of that. But she has never stopped building herself. And we're not going to care about who was she before. Sometimes I get a lot of these, like, who you were before. What do you care who I was before if what I am today bothers you so much? We don't care about who she was before Cristiano Ronaldo. We care about what she did with the doors that God opened for her. Georgina Rodriguez had the option of not doing anything, but instead, she kept building herself. She built her career, her brand, her own empire. While she takes care of the family, she's the one that plans for vacations, for family vacations. She's the one that chooses the houses. She still goes and picks her children at school. Yes, with a private chauffeur, a private driver. But she's there, giving her time, nurturing her family, and still building millions. Georgina Rodriguez has become rich in her own. So she's now able to be a supportive wife in multiple ways. And she is ready for whatever can happen as well. If she and her partner decides to go part ways, she may feel sad, she may feel very bad about the situation, but she's not going to worry about money. You don't want to be in a situation when you are literally living in the worst case scenario and you don't even have money for a bus. Yes, you should let a man take care of you financially and in many other ways, of course, because providing is not only bringing money to the table, which that is a big thing that happens for a lot of men. They think that provide is just to bring money. Providing is way more than that. Providing security, providing comfort, providing a safe place to be yourself. And yes, you should let the man take care of you financially, because That's his duty. Doesn't matter how strong and independent you are, God has made the man a provider. His duty is to take care of us. Actually, that was the punishment for men. When Adam and Eve sinned by eating from the forbidden tree, he said, the punishment for women will be having a painful labor. The punishment for men will be working to provide for himself and his family. Yet we have men that ask 50-50, okay? The world is confused, we know that. But in the middle of confusion, we still need to make our life clear for us. Becoming the woman of Proverbs 31 isn't about perfection, but it's about becoming a woman who understands the value of what she's been given. A woman who develops her gifts. A woman who creates instead of waiting. A woman who builds instead of settling. A woman that knows that money is not her purpose, but wisely using her resources can help her fulfill it. I want you to ask yourself some questions that will help you bring clarity in your own situation today. I want you to ask yourself, what is my current relationship with money? Write down your beliefs. How do you feel about it? What do you think when you think about money? What emotions comes up? Ask yourself if you know how to handle it or if you're ready not to think about it. If you don't like to make numbers. If you're scared about looking at your bank account, or if you don't even have your bank account available because someone else controls it for you. Ask yourself, what financial beliefs no longer serves me? What are the financial beliefs that sees money as the enemy or sees money as a tool to get from point A to point B? Ask yourself, what am I building with my life right now? If I fully trust myself, what financial step would I take next? And last, ask yourself, what legacy do I want to leave for the women who come after me? I believe that every woman deserves to have something that belongs to her. A purpose, a skill, a passion, a vision, and a relationship with herself. Because the most beautiful thing is not needing someone to complete you, but it's choosing someone while already knowing who you are. I hope you enjoy this episode, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.